guys, so as promised, I said my goal is to do at least one live a week. So I'm going to be doing that right now, and I'm going to park myself on my neighbor's front yard here in Crown Heights, and I wanted to hop on and chat with you about buyers. If you're representing a buyer or you are a buyer and you see a property you like and you're hesitant about offering full ask, because many people tell me, Margola, I never want to give what I'm being asked. Never. I don't want to give full ask because they feel that, you know what, why should I? Well, let me tell you something. If you're in a hot market, wherever you are, and it's a hot market, and you want to lowball, and you really love the property and you'll let me lowball it, you're never going to get it. You don't lowball. Lowballing, the only thing it does is make the seller really angry, and it's kind of disrespectful. So what I always tell my people who are looking to buy something, and if it's a property, whether I'm representing the property or not, and most often if I'm working with someone who's making an offer, I am representing the property, and I know what my seller is thinking, and I know that my seller's bottom number, and I know that he's firm. So I'll tell my buyers, if you really love the property and it works magic for you, double down on your terms. Make it easy. Make it an easy closing. Make it stress-free. Remove all your contingencies, most of the contingencies except for title. And let's see how we can make this work with the money. And that's how you will score the deal. Hi, Armando. Hi, Ghetto. But that's how you'll get the deal. If you love a property and it just doesn't math out, maybe you need to put more money into the construction, no problem. But when you're honest and you show sincerity and respect, and you say, you know what, Margaret, I'm going to make this really easy for the seller. It's going to close quick. I'm going to let him stay in the property. It's called a post-possession closing. Let him stay a month or two. Let him dip into my escrow. Oh, that's something else I wanted to talk to you about. So this is a bargaining chip that I have found it very, very successful. When a seller here in my neck of the woods, and they don't have a home to go to, they're selling a beautiful brownstone, and they don't have a second or third home to go to. So what do they need? They need to buy something else. And what if they don't have the funds to put as a down payment? What if they don't have that money? So 90% of my deals, my homeowners do not have where to go. So rather than hanging around for another 3 months post-closing and finding a place to live, I make it really easy, and I say, no worry, you can dip into the buyer's deposit money. And when I share this little tactic with friends of mine that I'm in a mastermind, including you, Armando, every day between 7 and 9 every morning, my friends were like, what are you talking about, Margola? How on earth can a seller dip into a buyer's earnest money? And I said, simple. There's a bunch of paperwork signed, and it's only done after buyer clears title, because that is the only contingency. And once title is cleared, then there's a bunch of paperwork signed. He records it by his attorney. We're in an attorney state. The attorney records a contract, so no one can touch that property without going through the buyer. And number 2, buyer gets first lien on the property. Well, if there's already a lien, they're next in line. So no one can close on that property without first going through the buyer. But that never happens. Once the buyer's money is dipped into by that time, and all the paperwork is signed, in the 9 years that I've been practicing real estate here in Brooklyn, nobody has ever lost one red dime. None. It makes it easier for the seller. It makes the seller want to do business with the buyer, and they can tap into the deposit money, put it on their new home, and then once they close on their Brooklyn brownstone, they close on their next home, and then they get about a month or 2 post-possession that they can get all their stuff out, figure out what they're taking, and then leave the property in broom clean condition. Just another hack. And remember, the bottom line is make it easy for the seller. And chances are, more often than not, a seller will go down a little bit and meet the buyer somewhere in the middle, as long as there's an easy way of doing business, there's a relationship, and there's many factors involved in a deal. It's not just the price, because remember, the more profit a seller makes, what happens? The more capital gains tax Mr. and Mrs. Seller have to pay. So there's many ways to go about negotiating a deal, and that's my job. It's not to open doors. I don't have to open doors. It's negotiation. So just remember that. Buyers out there, go in with open eyes and an open heart. You also never want to put an offer with more than you can chew, and that's one thing I would never do. I would never convince a buyer to go over the top, because I can convince anyone to do anything. But what's going to happen? They're going to get that beautiful home, and then they're going to be hit with the mortgage payments. And what if they can't afford it? Who are they going to thank? They're going to thank the broker that convinced them to get that brownstone. So never bite off more than you can chew, and go in with an open heart and make the deal easy for the seller.